into it.
You've put a lot of heart into this, man. You've been a competitor for how long?
Since 2011.
Ooh, wow. So we're talking to MK9 days?
MK9. That's crazy that we're going to be on our 5th game now. It's like nuts in a way, you know?
So it was
a lot of life.
It was MK11 Injustice, MKX Injustice 2, and now Mortal Kombat 11, since you could say the rebirth of NetherRealm or the birth of NetherRealm after Midway. Wow.
It's been, honestly, it's been a blessing, all of it all. Like, the whole journey of it all has been so crazy, but it's been so cool. All the people, like, no matter what happens, like, even with this new game and stuff, it'll be all right. Everything, like, that has happened has been the dream, you know, it's been so surreal, all of it. Like, even down to, like knowing who, like, you know, Nick Castro and the guys at, like, NetherRealm, like, them, like, chopping it up with us. Like, it's crazy. Since I was little, we've been playing it. Like you said, you knew Mortal Kombat since you were how old?
5.
I was like -2 when the game came out. So like,
you want me to go into that story? I got a story, folks, of how connected I feel to Mortal Kombat. It's pretty cool. I think it's cool. I'm biased. So I did martial arts in Taekwondo for about 9 years. Then I was older. I switched over to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But around that time, I remember going to Shakey's Pizza. They had this arcade. It was Street Fighter at the time, but then it switched over to something else, an arcade box, and it was Mortal Kombat. And I saw these spikes and people falling down on the spikes and stuff. I'm going, what is this, Dad? We got to play it.
Where was this located? Here?
Seattle. Yeah, Seattle area. Federal Way area where I grew up as a kid. And I was like, this game is really cool because it used the photorealistic characters. It used photographs of the characters and the poses and putting them together in the fights. So you're like, this graphic style is different. It's bloody, but it's cartoon blood, but with real people, kind of in a video game. It was new in a sense of, this is different than Street Fighter. Street Fighter's like hand-drawn anime, you know, that type of vibe. And continued to play it, love it, like going to the arcade. And then I think it was, I had a Super Nintendo. My buddy had a Sega Genesis, so I played on the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat 2. I had to rent it all the time. I think I bought it. I'm pretty sure I bought it. Or this is like back before they had like ratings systems, I think. I mean, maybe they had mature back then, but like parents didn't know. Then they'd see the graphics and you had all those news stories going like, what is this? But to me, it was martial arts in a video game form. My parents got that. I loved playing those games growing up on all the different systems. Fast forward to being like 12, 13, 14, in a Taekwondo studio in Federal Way, in the back, putting on all our gear, because it was Friday night, so we were sparring. We would do forms and technique Tuesday, Thursday, and then Friday we would spar. And I remember just this thing popped in my mind, like, hey, man, if they made a Mortal Kombat movie, would it be rated R or would it be rated X? Because, oh, my God, you know, the fatalities and stuff. And
oh my God.
One of the older, like the teenage instructors, like 16, 17-year-old, we all kind of looked up to him as one of the leaders. He's like, oh, there is a film coming out. Again, this is before the internet was a thing, right? So you had no idea. He's like, oh, there is a film. I saw a trailer for it, and it's going to be rated PG-13. I was like, what? PG-13? Well, cool, I can go to it. And so my dad and I went to it, and dude, that soundtrack, bro, I used those songs for like modeling auditions and stuff as a kid, and I would use it for like dance routines.
Like, it was techno-y. Like,
oh yeah,
it really was.
It was like was Utah Saints or whatever I forget the name of the artist, but I played the heck out of that cassette tape, bro. Dude, and I remember Goro, the silhouette of Goro was on the cassette tape, and I'm like, oh, I love this. And that soundtrack took over the world. And
really did.
Continued to play the games. Continued to
enjoy
the other properties.
That soundtrack, man. Yeah. Oh Lord. And they just always had 6 songs. They've always had a good choice. Like Edema, remember Immortal, like and all that. That was just like, they've always had 6 soundtracks. They knew what was hip. They even took like, it was kind of a stunt with this whole like 21 Savage thing. Like that was tight.
Yeah, it's something different. But what I felt when I watched that trailer at the end was like, oh, I'm listening to these beats while I'm kicking this guy's ass online. And I went, that is the truly greatest feeling I have when I'm playing Mortal Kombat. And I was just like, I'm listening to this soundtrack, and I'm getting these combos, and I'm slaying this dude. I felt that aesthetic, and if that's what they were going for, kudos, man, because it was fun. I think I was just so enthralled by the visuals, bro. I'm just raiding, going nuts on Scorpion.
He had like a projectile. I mean, he grabbed like his staff, so maybe
fuse something, yeah, because he whirled around with it. He had some range. He
pulled it out. No, like that was more just like he equipped it. Like there was like that one game where they had each character had their individual weapons. A 3D game. It was a Mortal Kombat game. I forget.
Was it?
Oh,
was it 4? Wasn't it 4? No.
No, it's Armageddon.
Oh man. Okay.
With Serena, I think.
Man, we're going back. That's with Onaga, right?
I was just joking with. Honestly, this is funny that we bring this up now. You got me on something.
Here we go. We got him.
I was joking with like all the older guys like Rio and all these fools like because they were just talking shit. And I was like, dude, you guys were only winning before frame data was like out, you know? Because that was like a crazy time like back then when like Mortal Kombat 9 was first out. There were tournaments and stuff, but dude, none of us really did know frame data. Like,
yeah. And
little did we all know, it's crazy. It's throughout. Do you remember Mortal Kombat X? Like when we discovered that blocking low, like all the moves that were one hitting individually block low, like it threw off the frames by 2. Do you remember when we discovered that?
This was what, June?
This was
May?
This was like after ESL season 1.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat maybe.
No, I don't know. I don't remember this period.
Before middle of the game. But yeah, Denzel kept. We were doing a Kung Lao mirror, and he kept doing forward 2, which is neutral on block, and he kept down 1ing it. It kept beating me every single time. Like, what the hell's happening? Like, so I was just literally stumped. I was pissed. I rage quit during the match, and I just sat there in training mode. We're on stream, like Paul was watching.
Yeah.
And so I'm just having them spam forward 2 on me in a down 1, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, it's beating me like at times, and I'm just like stumped. And then come to realize, like, when I was blocking low is when he was beating me. When I was blocking high, like, my down 1 would beat out his down 1, which was, you know, they were the same frames. So something was up. So we ended up doing further testing, and we ended up figuring out that all the single hitting lows were off by 2 frames. If your move said that it was 0.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, if your move said that it was 0, then it was +2.
At that time, I was still trying to win one match with Katana, so I was just so focused on that. When did they fix it? How long did it take for them to have that patch?
In the next patch, they literally fixed it. But the thing was, this was an ongoing thing from all, like, back then in Injustice 1. Like, Mortal Kombat 9, we thought that Jax, after his forward 413, his string low, it had a gap in the middle of some characters, but at the end of it, we thought it was random hit advantage. Like, we didn't know what the fuck was happening to us. We kept, like, we would block the string, and then he would beat us out with down 1 or forward 4 again. We're like, what? But now knowing single thing we were blocking low, it was off by 2 frames.
Yeah.
Everything. So they ended up fixing that. Like, dude, we made a groundbreaking change that, like, it kind of went seen really. Like, not many
under
people
the radar.
could, like, fathom
I'm
it. But
sure a lot of them are like, we don't want to, like, really highlight this mistake. Let's just fix it.
But to us, like, to me, like, in Denzel, like, I felt like that was, like, some legendary shit. Like, really? Like, that was awesome. But now it's fixed.
That's what makes NetherRealm a great.
But it's beautiful.
Studio.
They listen.
Yeah, they do.
In that stream. He was literally in the stream.
So fast forward, bro. Still loving Mortal Kombat. Went to the films and theaters. Watched the TV show. Watched the cartoon. Like, it was my jam. Then I had the opportunity to pitch the Pro League with an awesome team that worked at ESL. I was like, all right, here's the idea. Let's put it together. To walk into the doors not only at Warner Brothers Games, but also at NetherRealm Studios in Chicago, and to have people there and to have that pitch meeting. And, you know, you're thinking, like, is this happening? Am I really in the place that has been so influential in my life and connected to growing up with martial arts and stuff? And then to have success on top of that with them for successful seasons and to continue to work with them, it's very humbling. It is really awesome, but the work continues. We've still got a lot more to do.